Good morning. Today we will continue to study about the interrogative pronoun whose from the second example. The second example of the interrogative pronoun whose is applied is this. Whose sends you a message. The form of the transitive verb send reveals two premises that the number of the subject of the action indicated by the transitive verb send is singular, and the subject does not participate in the conversation with the speaker. From the form of the transitive verb send to describe the interrogative pronoun whose, we can understand the speaker sets the two premises for the subject indicated by the interrogative pronoun whose. This interrogative clause is stated in the first type of clause constituted with the subject whose, the transitive verb send, the indirect object you, and the direct object a message. One of the responses is this. He sends you a message. In this clause, you can understand that the subject, the number of the subject, is plural from the form of the transitive verb send. The possessive pronoun his indicate the subject and reveal the information of the subject about the owner. Like we can understand who the subject belong to. The speaker reveals that the subject of the action indicated by the transitive verb send belongs to a male who does not participate in the conversation with the speaker by the possessive pronoun his. As a response to the interrogative clause stated with the interrogative pronoun whose, the form of the transitive verb send reveals that the number of the subject indicated by the possessive pronoun is plural. Because the possessive pronoun to indicate a subject does not reveal the information about the number of the subject and whether the subject participates in the conversation with the speaker or not, we can infer the information from the form of the transitive verb send. The third example is this. Whose do you like? In this clause, the interrogative pronoun whose indicates the object. To receive the definition of the transitive verb like from the listeners as the subject. The speaker indicates the object of the transitive verb like with the interrogative pronoun whose to reveal that the object of the transitive verb like belongs to a subject. This interrogative clause is stated in the third type of clause constituted with the object of the transitive verb like whose, the modal verb as an adverb do, the subject of the transitive verb like you, and the transitive verb like. There is a conference. It is one of the responses from the interrogative clause. Whose do you like? The conference is this. I like his. The speaker applies the possessive pronoun his to reveal to indicate the object that belongs to a male who does not participate in the conversation with the speaker. The speaker reveals that the object of the transitive verb like belongs to a male who does not participate in the conversation with the speaker with the possessive pronoun his as a response to the interrogative clause stated with the interrogative pronoun whose. The first example is this: whose do you eat? In this clause, the interrogative pronoun whose indicates the object of the transitive verb eat. To receive the definition of the transitive verb eat from the subject, the listeners, the speaker indicates the object of the transitive verb eat with the interrogative pronoun whose to reveal the premise that the object of the transitive verb eat belongs to a subject. There's a conference, and this is one of the responses, one of the possible responses from the previous question. Whose do you eat? There's a conference. I eat the pastor's. From the question, we can understand that the speaker intends to know about the object because that is indicated by the interrogative pronoun whose. And in this response, the speaker responds to the question with the general noun pastor and apostrophe and the suffix s. This means the speaker intends to indicate the object while revealing the owner, the person that the object belongs to with the general noun pastor. The phrase of the general noun the pastor is applied to indicate the object that the pastor owns. So we can understand that the combination of the phrase of the general noun, the pastor, apostrophe, and the suffix s make a phrase of a pronoun, a phrase of a phrase that can replace the possessive pronoun, like his. The speaker who reveals the subject of the belonging is able to apply a phrase of a noun, the pastor, to indicate the subject, and an apostrophe and the letter s to reveal that the object belongs to the subject. An apostrophe is a punctuation mark for a possessive determiner and a possessive pronoun. There are two examples on arcs bird, on arcs. In this clause, in this phrase, the first example, the possessive determiner is constituted with the phrase of a general noun, an arc, apostrophe, and the letter s. This phrase becomes a possessive determiner. This phrase can have a role of a possessive determiner for the general noun bird. And in this second example on arcs, the combination of the phrase of the general noun on arc, apostrophe, and the suffix s make a phrase that has the same function, that has the same trait as the possessive pronoun. On arcs, this second example indicates an object that belongs to an ark. Let's study about the first example. On ark's bird, the apostrophe and the letter S change. The trait that the phrase of the noun arks has into of possessive determiner. The range of the object indicated by the general noun bird is specified by the predeterminer on, and the possessive determiner arks twice. In this second example, the noun with the apostrophe arks indicates the object that belongs to the subject indicated by the general noun ark. Because the noun ark, the apostrophe, and the suffix s, the letter s, as a possessive determiner specify the range of the object indicated by the other noun bird. The phrase of the noun on ark's bird reveals the information about both the subject ark and the object bird of the belonging. The noun ark, the apostrophe, and the letter s as a possessive pronoun only reveal the information about the subject ark of the belonging and indicate the object of the belonging unstated. The fifth example that the interrogative pronoun whose is applied is this. Whose is this? In this clause, the speaker indicates the subject with the indicative pronoun this. The verb describes the subject from the existence of the subject to the condition of the subject because the speaker applies the subjective complement whose. The subjective complement whose describes the subject in a way to define the subject with an indicative word, with the trait of the indication. And from the fact that the subject and the subjective complement indicate the same subject, we can understand that the speaker intends to know the subject that is close to the speaker, whose number is 1, and the speaker reveals that the subject belongs to the other subject, and the speaker intends to know about the other subject, to know about this subject. The speaker defines the subject this with the interrogative pronoun whose to reveal that the subject this belongs to another subject and to practice the role as a subjective complement. There is a conference. This is one of the examples from the question, whose is this? This belongs to Jesus Christ. We can also respond from this question like this. This is Jesus Christ. We can apply apostrophe and s to make a phrase that has the trait of the possessive pronoun, just like this, on earth. In this conference, belongs to, the expression belongs to is applied. The speaker is able to convey the same intention in the composition of the clause to reveal that Jesus Christ includes the subject this as the clause that the possessive pronoun is applied in.